Jonathan Green in a 4-1 defeat. Was the performance and the result as clear margin as the scoreline suggests?
Yeah, we're obviously massively disappointing. I think Telford deserve the 3 points. They were massively better than us all over the pitch, which is obviously disappointing. We just had a chat in there, and listen, the first 10 minutes it was hectic. They were a good pressing team. We've had a few chances down the left-hand side with Brownie and Dom and Wacker and decision making. We could have gone maybe 1 or 2-0 up in the first 10 minutes, and it was quite even. And after that, Telford, were miles better than us. Out of possession, in possession, winning more first balls, second balls, winning more tackles, better on the ball than us. I think today listen, real honest group, like I always tell you, worked really hard, but in possession we were poor. We were sloppy on the ball. Top players who've been great all season, all had an off day at the same day really. I've never seen us lose possession as many times as I did today. Decision making in the final third was poor. But half time we had a quiet word and we tried to rally them and say, listen, it's probably one of our worst performances this season, first half, even though we started okay. But second half it continued. Obviously Wilder came off at half time, Greeny came on, couldn't really get into the game. But then, you're under a little bit of pressure, but then you go and score a goal, and we were just about to make a sub. We felt like we needed to make a change and a bit of a shape change as well. But you go 1-0 up, and the last thing you can do is concede straight away. I think it was 30 seconds away. So absolutely gut-wrenching to lose a goal straight away. They get all the positivity from that, and they go on the front foot, and then we just absolutely apple crumbled, which is not like us as well. I put it down to just one of those games where we literally weren't at it. Can't put my finger on it. Same players, would never question. Like I said, their work ethic, their honesty, absolutely great lads. I'll say that, and I'll always back them up. But just today, every single one of us off it, on the ball, off the ball, and they deserve to win the game 4-1. And we crumbled the last 20 minutes.
I would never question the players' want for a game, but from what you've said there and that full-time discussion, and you've mentioned there how honest some players are, how honest have they been with you? What's their side of the game today from your point of view? Their point of view, sorry.
Yeah, well, listen, there's a few obviously heated words in there, and that's what you want. You know what I mean? You want that as players, as a team, players who care, and they 100% do. A few heated words. I try to calm the situation down really, because listen, they've been absolutely terrific. I don't know where we are in the league. I haven't looked at any results or anything like that, but I think we're probably still in the top 3 or 4 maybe. And it's been down to doing the basics really well. Being out of possession, being hard to beat, competing, winning first balls, second balls. Tackling really hard, winning tackles, tracking back, putting your body on the line, running more than the opponent. In possession, being really good on the ball, and being good with full-backs bombing on with our wingers and stuff like that. But we were getting the ball today, and we were losing the ball after 2-3 passes. Sometimes one pass. Sometimes it was the first control that let us down. It was bouncing off us, and we just couldn't get any rhythm in the game. But I said to the players, I said, you can have an off day. You can have a really, really bad off day. I've had loads in my career where things don't work and the whole team doesn't play well. But it's always about the reaction. It's always about the next game. Obviously, a tough away game at South Shields, but we know we can play miles better than that. And listen, I'm not taking any credit away from Telford. I thought Telford were very, very good today. We warned the players before the game, because I'd watched the game against Darlington and they were on the front foot and they pressed hard and they tackled hard. So the boys knew what kind of game it was going to be, but we didn't match them. And then to top that off, we weren't as good on the ball as we normally are. But fair play to Telford, good team. Like I said to the players at training during the week and before the game today, we have to be on it to win the game today, and we weren't on it.
Lewis Maloney didn't really get too much of a game. I'm not singling him out of criticism with this, but it was so key how instrumental he was for the victory against Leamington. What was the key aspect, do you think, for not being able to get him on the ball so he could showcase and spray the ball about, getting the wingers in, that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, that's obviously what we want from Louis. It's one of his biggest strengths. He's absolutely brilliant at it, but we just couldn't get him in the game, and we couldn't get anybody in the game really. And like I say, if you can't keep the ball, 1, 2, 3 passes and break the press. The biggest thing when a team presses you, you have to be able to beat the press. Your first touch has to be good. You have to be able to lend the ball to somebody to create space. You can't lose the ball in the first, second or third pass, because then they're on the impetus and they're going forward with the ball and breaking. And we did it too many times today. We didn't, get 10, 15, 20 passes like we did against Leamington, 30 passes. But that was because, Telford pressed really well and we couldn't cope with it. We didn't know when to, flick it round corners and stuff like that. But the biggest thing was just losing the ball carelessly. And that's what killed us today. And the out of possession stuff, we weren't as good as we normally are. But I've said to the players, listen, this game can humble you, really, really quickly. It can really, really humble you. I've been there myself. You can be really, really high one week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, flying, playing really well, full of confidence, winning games of football, and for some reason you just turn up to a game and you're poor. And that can happen.
The one positive aspect from the commentary this afternoon, apart from the goal, was when Zane Myers came on. He looked quite assured and he looked to try and get other people in. What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, I thought he did all right. Yeah, he did some nice stuff. He got the ball out to Greeny a couple of times. It's always hard when you're 4-1 down, isn't it? It's not easy, but there's a little bit of pressure off you, I suppose, because you're coming on and you're trying to showcase your ability. But yeah, he did well. He's a nice little player. He's done well in training. Obviously, we've been winning a lot of football games recently, so he hasn't had a chance to really start. But he's come on, I think, 2 or 3 times now, and he's done really well. So, yeah, really pleased with him. He's got a great attitude. But listen, today we've got to take it on the chin. Just said to the players, it's football. Take it on the chin. You can't get too high with the highs. You can't get too low with the lows. And it's all about the next game now, which I always tell you. It's always about putting performance in. Today we haven't put performance in, but we need to put performance in on Tuesday against South Shields, otherwise we'll get humbled again.
Yeah, just finally on South Shields, what tactically can you see in them that Telford maybe had today, as when you're maybe on the bus back and you're thinking, right, you've already obviously got an idea of how South Shields are going to play in your selection and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What springs to mind?
Yeah, well, listen, I had a team in mind before today's game and what I was going to play on Tuesday, and that's been wiped out at the moment. So I obviously know how South Shields like to play. They play with diamond midfield. Blackett, the striker's very, very good off the shoulder, very, very sharp. They like to play out from the back. They're all very comfortable on the ball. So we have to be very good out of possession on Tuesday. But like today, we need to be better in possession, because if we keep giving the ball back to them, they're going to pop us off the pitch. So we have to be better all round. We know how they like to play. They've got some really good players, a lot of players I really like. Obviously a full-time team, so they're probably in tomorrow and Monday, doing stuff, but that's no excuse. We've played a lot of part-time teams, full-time teams, and everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's trying to put in a strong performance and trying to get 3 points. And listen, we haven't got 3 points today. We didn't deserve it. We should have done better when we went 1-0 up, that's for sure. We shouldn't have conceded after 30 seconds. We need to learn from that. We need to learn from the last 20 minutes where we've crumbled a little bit and scored another 3. And we need to take that into the game against South Shields and make sure it doesn't happen again.
And a final one, just on the 2 Alexes. Alex Perver, 5 yellow cards. Just to check, that rolls over to Saturday, not South Shields game?
Yeah, I think that's Saturday. I think it's 7 days, so he should be okay for Tuesday.
And then Wiles came off.
Yeah, Wiles is injured, so he's done his ankle, so that's a bit of a nightmare really. So we'll have to see what it's like over the next couple of days. He just got caught in the middle of the pitch, and I think it rolled a little bit. But he's a tough cookie. So if he's right, he'll obviously play. But if he's not, then he won't.